The Shinobi Council's secret. Hello friends, welcome back to Animeversalore. Today, Sasuke is about to uncover Konoha's darkest secret. An organization that has been operating from the shadows for years is finally ready to reveal itself. So let's begin. Sasuke entered the council chamber with Naruto, Sakura, and Shikamaru. The room was silent. 7 council members sat around a large table. At the center was the council leader, Masato Kurogen. Masato looked at Sasuke. 7th Hokage, we need to discuss a serious security issue. Sasuke remained standing. I already know. Masato raised an eyebrow. Then you know that 2 dangerous Uchiha have entered Konoha. Quote, Naruto stepped forward. Ren and Daichi aren't dangerous. Masato looked at him. They are survivors of an organization that once threatened the village. Sasuke interrupted. That's a lie. The entire room became silent. Sasuke placed the ancient scroll on the table. This document proves that Danzo secretly experimented on Uchiha survivors. Masato's expression didn't change. Those records are fake. Sasuke activated his Sharingan. Then why were they sealed inside the Hokage archives? Masato remained calm. Because someone wanted to create confusion. Shikamaru stepped forward. Interesting. Everyone looked at him. Shikamaru placed another document on the table. We checked the council's financial records. Masato's expression finally changed. Where did you get those? Shikamaru smiled. Your biggest mistake was assuming nobody would check. The documents showed secret payments made to an unknown organization. Sakura looked at them. The purification order. Masato stood. You have no idea what you're dealing with. Sasuke stared at him. Then explain it. Masato's voice became cold. The shinobi world is repeating the same mistake. Quote, Naruto frowned. What mistake? Giving too much power to bloodlines. Masato pointed toward Sasuke, the Uchiha, then toward Naruto, the Jinchuriki, then toward Sakura, medical abilities. Quote, he looked around the room. We created peace, but we also created a world where a few individuals possess enough power to destroy everything. Sasuke answered calmly. Power isn't the problem. Masato asked. Then what is? How people choose to use it. Masato laughed. That's exactly what the old Hokage said. Suddenly, the doors of the council chamber opened. Ren and Daichi entered. Ren looked directly at Masato. You remember me? Masato's face became pale. Ren continued. You were there when my family was taken. Daichi stepped forward. You signed the orders. Masato finally revealed the truth. Yes. Naruto clenched his fist. Then you're admitting everything. Masato smiled. Yes. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. Why? Masato activated a strange seal on his arm. Because the purification order wasn't created to destroy the Uchiha. Quote, he looked toward Sasuke. It was created to prepare for you. The lights inside the chamber suddenly went out. A massive explosion shook Konoha. Sasuke immediately activated his Sharingan. Shikamaru looked toward the window. Multiple chakra signatures. Naruto prepared himself. How many? Shikamaru's expression became serious. Thousands. Masato smiled. The purification order has begun its operation. Sasuke drew his sword. Then today, they learn what happens when they threaten my village. Outside Konoha, masked shinobi appeared across the rooftops. Their symbol was the same one found on Ren's scroll. The purification order had finally revealed itself. The purification order attacks. The streets of Konoha erupted into chaos. Masked shinobi appeared on rooftops, walls, and streets. Their black uniforms carried the symbol of the purification order. Sasuke stood on the Hokage building. His Rinnegan scanned the entire village. Naruto. Naruto appeared beside him. I see them. Sasuke looked toward the eastern district. How many? Shikamaru arrived with several Anbu. At least 3,000. Quote, Naruto clenched his fist. 3,000 against Konoha. Sasuke shook his head. No. He looked toward the surrounding forests. They're only the first wave. Suddenly, hundreds of masked shinobi launched themselves toward the village. Sasuke raised his hand. Defend Konoha. The Anbu rushed forward. Shinobi from every clan joined the battle. Fire style filled the sky. Earth walls rose from the streets. Lightning attacks tore through the enemy formation. The purification order continued advancing. Naruto entered 6 Paths Sage mode. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Hundreds of clones appeared across the battlefield. Sasuke activated Perfect Susanoo. The massive warrior appeared above Konoha. The enemy shinobi stopped. One of them whispered, "The 7th Hokage." Sasuke raised his Susanoo sword. "Leave Konoha." The masked shinobi laughed. "You still don't understand." Sasuke narrowed his eyes. "Understand what?" The shinobi removed his mask. He was an older man with scars across his face. "The purification order was never created to defeat you." Sasuke's expression changed. "Then what is its purpose?" Quote, "The man smiled. To make the people of Konoha turn against you." At that moment, explosions erupted throughout the village. But they weren't targeting the shinobi. They were targeting civilian buildings. Naruto's expression changed. "They're attacking their own positions." Shikamaru immediately understood. "No." He looked towards Sasuke. "They're making it look like Konoha's shinobi are attacking civilians." Quote, Sasuke's eyes widened. "An illusion." Sakura arrived. "It's not an illusion." She pointed toward the streets. "Some of those attackers are wearing Konoha uniforms." Naruto looked shocked. "They've infiltrated our forces." Quote, Sasuke immediately gave an order. "Everyone stop attacking." The battlefield froze. The purification order shinobi looked confused. Sasuke stepped forward. "All Konoha shinobi, identify your units." Quote, one by one, the real shinobi responded. Then several Konoha soldiers remained silent. Sasuke activated his Sharingan. "Remove your masks." The hidden soldiers refused. Naruto stepped forward. "You're surrounded." Quote, one of them suddenly attacked Sakura. Naruto intercepted the attack. The attacker disappeared in a burst of smoke. Sasuke looked at the others. Shadow clones. Shikamaru's expression became serious. The real infiltrators are somewhere else. Suddenly, an alarm sounded from the Hokage tower. Sasuke turned. The council chamber. He immediately disappeared. Naruto followed. Inside the council chamber, Masato was standing beside a strange machine. Ren and Daichi were trapped inside a ceiling barrier. Sasuke entered. "Release them." Masato smiled. "You still don't understand, Hokage." Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. "Explain." Masato placed his hand on the machine. "This entire attack is a distraction." Naruto arrived behind Sasuke. "Then what's the real target?" Masato looked at Sasuke. "You." The machine activated. A massive ceiling mark appeared beneath Sasuke's feet. Masato smiled. The purification order was created to remove the most dangerous bloodline from the shinobi world. The seal began absorbing Sasuke's chakra. "Yours." Sasuke tried to move, but the seal tightened. Naruto rushed forward. "Sasuke." Masato laughed. "Now let's see how powerful the 7th Hokage really is without his chakra." The Hokage's powerless moment. The sealing technique tightened around Sasuke. His chakra was being drained rapidly. Naruto rushed toward him, but Masato activated another barrier. "Stay back." Naruto struck the barrier with a Rasengan. The barrier didn't move. Sakura tried to break it from the side. "There's too much chakra inside this seal." Shikamaru examined the markings. "It's connected to the entire council chamber." Sasuke struggled to remain standing. Masato smiled. "Your Rinnegan won't save you." Quote, Sasuke looked at him. "You've made one mistake." Masato frowned. "What?" Sasuke slowly raised his hand. "You assumed my strength comes only from chakra." Masato's expression changed. Sasuke pulled out his sword. Even without his chakra, he moved with incredible speed. He struck the sealing device. The machine cracked. Masato stepped backward. "Impossible." Sasuke looked at him. "I've fought without chakra before." Quote, Masato activated the machine again. The seal intensified. Sasuke dropped to one knee. Naruto shouted, "Sasuke!" Ren suddenly began struggling against his barrier. Daichi. Daichi nodded. The two Uchiha activated their Sharingan simultaneously. Their chakra began resonating with Sasuke's. The sealing barrier around them started cracking. Masato looked shocked. "No!" Ren shouted. "You wanted to erase the Uchiha." His Sharingan turned into a Mangekyo. "But you forgot something." Daichi activated his own Mangekyo. Uchiha don't disappear that easily. Their combined chakra shattered the barrier. Ren and Daichi rushed toward Sasuke. Daichi placed his hand on the ceiling formation. I know this technique. Sasuke looked at him. How? Danzo's organization used it on us. Daichi began dismantling the seal. Sasuke slowly stood. Masato tried to escape. Naruto appeared in front of him. Going somewhere. Masato stepped backward. You don't understand what you're protecting. Naruto's eyes became serious. I understand enough. Masato activated a hidden seal. Suddenly, his body transformed. Dark markings spread across his face. His chakra exploded. Sakura stepped back. He's been modifying his body. Shikamaru stared at him. That's not normal chakra. Masato smiled. Danzo's research didn't end with him. Quote, Sasuke looked at the markings. Whose chakra is that? Masato answered. The chakra of every bloodline the Purification Order has captured. The room shook. Masato's body became surrounded by multiple chakra natures. Fire, lightning, water, wind, earth, and several unknown forms of chakra. Naruto prepared himself. Then we'll stop you here. Masato disappeared. A powerful attack struck Naruto. Sasuke intercepted it with his sword. The impact sent both of them crashing through the wall. Sakura rushed toward them. Sasuke. Sasuke stood slowly. His chakra was still weak, but his eyes were calm. Naruto stood beside him. You good? Quote. Sasuke nodded. Enough. Naruto smiled. Then let's finish this. Masato looked at them. You two still believe friendship can overcome power. Sasuke activated his Sharingan. No. Naruto's chakra began rising. We believe people can. Masato attacked. Sasuke and Naruto moved together. The final battle inside the Hokage Tower had begun. The battle inside the Hokage Tower. Masato charged towards Sasuke and Naruto. His body was surrounded by multiple chakra natures. Fire exploded from one hand. Lightning covered the other. Naruto jumped aside as the attacks destroyed the wall behind him. Sasuke moved through the smoke. His Sharingan tracked Masato's movements. He's changing chakra natures instantly. Naruto nodded. Then we hit him before he can switch. Sasuke disappeared. Amano Tejikara. He switched places with a broken piece of the floor. Masato turned. Sasuke was already behind him. Chidori. The lightning blade struck Masato's shoulder. Masato screamed and released a powerful shockwave. Sasuke was thrown backward. Naruto appeared above Masato. Rasengan. Masato blocked the attack with both hands. The floor beneath him cracked. Naruto pushed harder. You won't hurt this village. Masato suddenly released wind chakra. Naruto was thrown through the ceiling. Sakura rushed toward him. Naruto. Naruto stood up. I'm fine. Meanwhile, Sasuke noticed something strange. Masato's body was beginning to crack. The stolen chakra is unstable. Shikamaru heard him. Then we force him to use too much. Sasuke nodded. Exactly. Shikamaru quickly created a strategy. Naruto, keep him attacking. Sasuke, make him switch between chakra natures. Naruto smiled. Got it. Quote. He created dozens of shadow clones. Masato attacked them one after another. Fire, lightning, wind, water, earth. Every attack consumed more of the stolen chakra. Sasuke waited for the right moment. Masato destroyed the final clone. Enough. He raised both hands. A massive sphere containing 5 different chakra natures formed above him. Sakura looked at it. That attack could destroy the entire tower. Quote. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. Then we stop it before he releases it. Naruto entered 6 Paths Sage mode. Together. Sasuke nodded. Together. Naruto rushed forward. Masato launched the sphere. Sasuke used Amano Tejikara. The sphere suddenly changed direction. It appeared directly above Masato. His eyes widened. What did you do? Sasuke answered. Returned your attack. The sphere exploded. Masato was thrown across the chamber. His stolen chakra began disappearing. The strange markings on his body faded. Ren and Daichi watched from behind Sakura. Ren whispered, he's losing, but Daichi shook his head. No. He pointed toward Masato. Look at his eyes. Masato slowly stood. His eyes had turned completely black. A strange voice came from his body. You have failed. Everyone froze. Sasuke raised his sword. Who said that? Misato's body began shaking. The voice spoke again. The Purification Order was never Misato's organization. Shikamaru's expression changed. Then whose is it? Misato looked at Sasuke. A dark symbol appeared on his forehead. The organization was created by someone who has been watching the shinobi world for years. Naruto stepped forward. Who? Misato smiled. The one who knows the truth about chakra. Quote, suddenly, the entire Hokage tower went dark. A massive chakra presence appeared above Konoha. Sasuke looked toward the sky. His Rinnegan widened. That chakra. Naruto looked at him. You recognize it? Quote, Sasuke nodded. It's the same chakra we felt beneath the void core. The voice echoed across Konoha. The new ninja era has lasted long enough. Sasuke tightened his grip on his sword. The real enemy had finally revealed himself. The one behind the Purification Order. The dark chakra spread across Konoha. Every shinobi in the village looked toward the sky. A massive black symbol appeared above the Hokage monument. Sasuke stared at it. I've seen that symbol before. Naruto looked at him. Where? Inside the void core. Everyone became silent. Misato's body began shaking violently. The strange voice spoke through him again. You defeated the void core, the Moon King, and the ancient shinobi. Quote, Sasuke raised his sword. But you never defeated me. Naruto stepped forward. Then show yourself. The sky split open. A figure descended from the darkness. He wore a long black cloak. His face was hidden behind a white mask. But his eyes were clearly visible. One was a Rinnegan. The other was a strange black eye covered with ancient markings. Sasuke immediately recognized the chakra. You. The masked man looked at him. Seventh Hokage. Naruto asked. Who are you? The man removed his mask. Sasuke's expression changed. Naruto froze. Sakura couldn't believe what she was seeing. The man standing before them looked exactly like Sasuke. Same face, same eyes, same Uchiha features, but his chakra was completely different. The man smiled. My name is Kage. Sasuke stared at him. Why do you look like me? Kage answered. Because I was created from you. Quote, Sasuke's eyes widened. Created. Kage nodded. The Purification Order collected your chakra during the battles with the Void Core and the Moon Clan. Naruto clenched his fist. You're saying they used Sasuke's chakra to create you? Quote, Kage smiled. Not just his chakra. He looked towards Sasuke. His memories. Sasuke's expression became cold. That's impossible. Kage raised his hand. Suddenly, memories appeared around them. Sasuke saw his childhood, his fight with Naruto, his battle with Itachi, his journey toward becoming Hokage. Kage had copies of all of them. Naruto looked shocked. He has Sasuke's memories. Kage continued. But I possess something Sasuke never had. Sasuke asked. What? Kage's black eye activated. The power to remove emotion. Sasuke stared at him. Kage continued. Hatred made the Uchiha dangerous. Quote, love made them weak. Compassion made shinobi hesitate. He looked across Konoha. I removed all of it. Naruto stepped forward. Then you're not Sasuke. Kage smiled. Correct. He pointed towards Sasuke. I am what Sasuke would have become if he had never met you. The words struck Sasuke deeply. Naruto looked at him. Sasuke remained silent. Kage raised his hand. The Purification Order appeared across the rooftops. Thousands of masked shinobi surrounded Konoha. Kage spoke calmly. The old shinobi era was built on emotions. Friendship, love, revenge, loss. He looked towards Sasuke. I will create an era without any of them. Quote, Sasuke stepped forward. You call that peace? Kage answered. No. His black eye began glowing. I call it perfection. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. Naruto entered Six Paths Sage mode. Kage looked at them. Then show me why your imperfect world deserves to survive. He raised his hand. Every member of the Purification Order activated their strange seals. The entire village was surrounded by a massive barrier. Sasuke looked at Naruto. This isn't just an attack. Naruto nodded. They're trying to trap the entire village. Sasuke tightened his grip on his sword. Then we break the barrier. Kage smiled. Try. The battle for the future of the new ninja era had begun. The battle for the new ninja era. The massive barrier completely surrounded Konoha. Thousands of Purification Order shinobi stood on the rooftops. Sasuke looked across the village. Everyone, protect the civilians first. Naruto nodded. Leave the barrier to us. Sakura gathered the medical teams. Shikamaru began coordinating the village defenses. Ren and Daichi joined the Uchiha shinobi. For the first time, the remaining Uchiha fought openly alongside Konoha. Kage watched from above. You are protecting a system that once destroyed your clan. Quote. Ren looked at him. We're protecting the people living here. Kage smiled. Then you will fall with them. He raised his hand. The Purification Order attacked. The streets erupted into battle. Fire style collided with lightning. Sand covered entire sections of the village. Naruto's clones appeared everywhere. Sasuke moved through the battlefield with incredible speed. He destroyed enemy formations without killing them. Kage watched carefully. You still hold back. Sasuke looked at him. I don't need to kill everyone to stop you. Kage appeared directly in front of Sasuke. That is your weakness. Their swords collided. The impact destroyed the roof beneath them. Sasuke used Aminotegakara. Kage instantly predicted the movement. He appeared behind Sasuke. Sasuke barely blocked the attack. Kage smiled. I have your memories. Quote. Sasuke stared at him. Then you should know how I fight. Kage attacked again. Sasuke countered. Their movements became so fast that Naruto could barely follow them. Kage finally pushed Sasuke backward. You cannot defeat yourself. Sasuke stood calmly. You're wrong. Kage narrowed his eyes. Sasuke continued. I know exactly what I was. He looked toward Naruto. And I know what I became. Naruto smiled. Kage's expression changed. Sasuke activated Perfect Susanoo. Kage's black eye began glowing. I will erase that connection. A massive black wave spread across the battlefield. Naruto felt his chakra weakening. Sakura collapsed to one knee. Ren struggled to remain standing. Sasuke immediately understood. He's removing emotional bonds. Shikamaru shouted. That's why everyone's chakra is weakening. Kage raised his hand. Without bonds, there is no resistance. Naruto suddenly stood. His chakra began rising again. Kage looked surprised. Impossible. Naruto smiled. You can remove memories. He looked at Sasuke. But you can't remove what those memories created. Sasuke's chakra surged. Ren's Sharingan strengthened. Daichi stood again. Across the village, shinobi began rising. Kage looked around in disbelief. What is happening? Sasuke answered. Connection. Naruto added. That's the power you never understood. Sasuke and Naruto's chakra merged. A massive wave of chakra spread across Konoha. The barrier began cracking. Kage's expression finally changed. No. Sasuke raised his sword. The new ninja era isn't perfect. Naruto stood beside him. But it's ours. The barrier shattered. A massive explosion spread across the sky. The Purification Order was thrown backward. Kage remained in the center of the destruction. His black eye glowed brighter. Then I'll destroy the source of your strength. He looked directly at Naruto. The person who changed Sasuke. Naruto's expression became serious. Kage disappeared. Sasuke's eyes widened. Naruto. Kage appeared behind him. A black blade formed in his hand. He struck Naruto. Sasuke jumped between them. The blade pierced through Sasuke's side. Naruto froze. Sasuke. Kage slowly pulled the blade away. Now let's see how strong your new era is without its Hokage. The Hokage's last stand. Sasuke fell to one knee. Blood stained his Hokage cloak. Naruto caught him before he hit the ground. Sasuke. Sakura rushed toward them. Move him back. Sasuke grabbed Naruto's arm. No. Naruto looked at him. You need medical treatment. Sasuke shook his head. The village comes first. Kage watched them from across the battlefield. Even now, you choose others over yourself. Sasuke slowly stood. That's what being Hokage means. Quote. Kage's expression remained emotionless. You are weak. Sasuke looked at him. Maybe. He tightened his grip on his sword. But I'm not alone. Naruto stood beside him. Kage raised his hand. A massive black sphere formed above him. The purification order began retreating. Shikamaru saw the attack. Everyone get underground. Sakura shouted. Move. The sphere descended. Sasuke activated Perfect Susanoo. Naruto entered Six Paths Sage mode. Together, they created a massive defensive barrier. The attack struck. The entire village shook. Sasuke struggled to maintain the Susanoo. Naruto's chakra began fading. Kage watched calmly. Your bonds are destroying you. Sasuke looked at Naruto. No. He smiled slightly. They're giving us strength. Naruto understood. He released Kurama's full chakra. Sasuke's Rinnegan responded. Their chakra began synchronizing again. The Susanoo transformed. Its armor became brighter and more powerful. Kage's expression finally changed. What is that? Sasuke answered. The power of everyone who chose to stand together. Quote, across Konoha, shinobi began contributing their chakra. Gaara's sand joined the formation. The Raikage sent lightning chakra. The mist shinobi added water chakra. The stone shinobi added earth chakra. The leaf shinobi added their own power. The entire shinobi alliance stood behind Sasuke. Kage's black sphere began cracking. No. Sasuke raised his sword. Your biggest mistake was thinking strength comes from blood. Quote, Naruto added. It comes from people. Sasuke and Naruto attacked simultaneously. Their combined attack destroyed the black sphere. Kage was thrown into the sky. His body began cracking. The stolen chakra inside him started escaping. Kage looked at Sasuke. Why? Sasuke landed in front of him. Because you were created from my past. He lowered his sword. But you don't have to repeat my mistakes. Kage looked confused. You would spare me. Quote, Sasuke nodded. Yes. Naruto smiled. That's what makes him different from the person you were created to become. Kage looked toward Konoha. For the first time, his emotionless expression changed. A tear appeared in his eye. I don't understand. Sasuke answered. You will. Suddenly, Misato's voice echoed from the battlefield. You've made a terrible mistake. Sasuke turned. Misato was standing again. The dark symbol on his forehead had grown larger. Kage looked at him. You lied to me. Misato smiled. You were never the final weapon. Kage's eyes widened. Then what am I? Misato pointed toward Sasuke. A key. Sasuke's expression changed. The black symbol beneath Konoha began glowing. Shikamaru looked at the ground. Sasuke. Sasuke turned. What? Shikamaru's face became pale. The barrier wasn't meant to trap the village. Quote, he looked toward the glowing symbol. It was meant to activate something beneath it. The ground began cracking. A massive ancient structure started rising beneath Konoha. Sasuke stared at it. He recognized the chakra immediately. The root. Kage looked toward the structure. No. Misato smiled. The original root of Shinobi chakra. The ancient seal beneath Konoha began opening. The root of Shinobi chakra. The ground beneath Konoha split apart. An enormous ancient structure rose from beneath the village. Black stone pillars surrounded a glowing core. Sasuke stared at it. This chakra is ancient. Shikamaru looked at the markings. These symbols are older than the hidden villages. Quote, Naruto stepped forward. Then what is it? Misato smiled. The source from which the first chakra techniques were created. Sasuke's expression became serious. The root of Shinobi chakra. Misato nodded. Long before the Sage of Six Paths, there was another system. He pointed toward the core. An artificial chakra network created to control every living being. Sakura looked shocked. Control every living being. Quote, Misato answered. Every person connected to the network would share the same thoughts, the same emotions, and the same purpose. Naruto clenched his fist. That's not peace. Misato smiled. Exactly. Quote, Kage stared at the ancient core. So that's why you created me. Misato nodded. You were designed as the perfect vessel. Sasuke understood. You used my chakra to create Kage because you needed someone capable of controlling the root. Quote, Misato looked at him. Correct. Sasuke raised his sword. And now, Misato pointed toward Kage. Now he will activate it. Kage stepped toward the core. Sasuke moved in front of him. You're not doing this. Quote, Kage stopped. Misato laughed. You cannot stop him. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. I don't need to. Naruto stepped beside him. We'll stop you. Misato's expression became cold. Then watch your village disappear. Quote. He activated the seal. The root began absorbing chakra from every shinobi in Konoha. People collapsed across the streets. Sakura rushed toward the injured. Everyone is losing chakra. Shikamaru shouted. We need to destroy the core. Sasuke shook his head. If we destroy it now, the chakra will explode. Naruto looked at him. Then how do we stop it? Sasuke looked toward Kage. We use the person it was designed for. Quote. Kage looked at Sasuke. You want me to control it? Sasuke nodded. Then destroy it from inside. Misato's eyes widened. No. Kage looked toward the core. Then toward Sasuke. Why should I trust you? Quote. Sasuke answered. Because I know what it feels like to be created by someone else's hatred. Kage remained silent. Sasuke continued. You don't have to become what they created you to be. Kage slowly walked toward the root. Misato attacked him. Stop. Naruto blocked Misato. You've lost. Misato released his full power. Naruto entered Six Paths Sage mode. Sasuke stood beside him despite his injury. Naruto. Yeah. Quote. Let's end this. They attacked Misato together. Meanwhile, Kage reached the root. The ancient core opened. Thousands of chakra lines connected to his body. Kage screamed. His memories began flooding through his mind. Sasuke's childhood, his pain, his loneliness, his bond with Naruto, his love for his village. Kage finally understood. I thought emotions were weakness. He looked toward Sasuke. But they are what make people choose. Quote. Sasuke smiled. Now you understand. Kage raised both hands. The root began collapsing. Misato screamed. No. The ancient chakra network shattered. A massive wave of energy spread across Konoha. But instead of destroying the village, the chakra disappeared into the sky. The root was finally destroyed. Misato collapsed. The purification order surrendered. Kage fell to the ground. Sasuke walked toward him. You saved the village. Kage looked at him. Does that mean I'm a shinobi? Sasuke smiled. That depends on what you choose to become. Kage looked toward the sunrise. For the first time, he smiled. But Sasuke suddenly felt another chakra presence. He turned toward the horizon. A voice echoed from far away. You destroyed the root. Sasuke's Rinnegan activated. But you have only awakened the true enemy. Quote. Naruto looked toward him. Who was that? Sasuke stared at the distant mountains. I don't know. A dark figure appeared on the horizon. And unlike the purification order, this enemy carried a chakra Sasuke had never felt before. The stranger beyond the mountains. The dark figure stood on the distant mountain. Sasuke's Rinnegan focused on him. Naruto stood beside Sasuke. Whoever that is, his chakra is different. Shikamaru looked through a telescope. I can't identify him. Sakura asked. Is he part of the purification order? Sasuke shook his head. No. Kage slowly stood. I know that chakra. Everyone looked at him. Sasuke asked. How? Kage looked toward the mountain. Because it's the chakra that created me. Silence filled the battlefield. Naruto frowned. Misato didn't create you. Kage shook his head. Misato only followed orders. Quote. Sasuke looked toward the unconscious Misato. Then who gave him those orders? Kage answered. The architect. Suddenly, the dark figure disappeared from the mountain. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. He's coming. A black portal opened above Konoha. The stranger stepped through it. He wore a dark cloak with no symbol. His face was young, but his eyes looked ancient. He looked at Sasuke. So you are the Hokage. Quote. Sasuke raised his sword. Identify yourself. The stranger smiled. My name is Raisin. Naruto stepped forward. What do you want? Raisin looked across Konoha. I came to see what the new ninja era has become. Quote. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. And, Raisin looked at him. It is exactly as I expected. Naruto frowned. What does that mean? Raisin raised one hand. Every shinobi in the village suddenly felt their chakra stop. Sakura dropped to one knee. Shikamaru struggled to breathe. Naruto's chakra disappeared. Sasuke's Rinnegan flickered. Sasuke immediately realized the truth. He can control chakra without touching it. Quote, Raisin smiled. Correct. Sasuke attacked. Raisin disappeared. He reappeared behind Sasuke and struck him. Sasuke crashed through the Hokage building. Naruto rushed forward. Raisin stopped him with a single hand. You rely too heavily on the 9 tails. Naruto's eyes widened. Raisin pulled the chakra from his body. Kurama's chakra began leaving Naruto. Sasuke stood again. Let him go. Raisin turned. You still believe you can protect everyone? Quote, Sasuke activated his Sharingan. Yes. Raisin smiled. Then prove it. He released Naruto. Naruto fell to the ground. Sasuke appeared beside him. Naruto. Naruto slowly stood. I'm fine. Raisin looked at them. The Moon King wanted the planet's chakra. The Purification Order wanted to control bloodlines. I want something much simpler. Sasuke asked. What? Raisin pointed toward the sky. To end the shinobi system itself. Sasuke's expression became serious. Raisin continued. Shinobi were created because humans learned to weaponize chakra. He looked at the destroyed streets. Every war, every massacre, every tragedy began with that power. Quote, Naruto shook his head. Chakra isn't the problem. Raisin looked at him. Then I will remove the problem. The sky suddenly darkened. Thousands of strange symbols appeared above the clouds. Sasuke looked up. What are those? Kage's expression changed. The chakra erasure seal. Sasuke looked at him. What does it do? Kage answered. If activated, it will permanently erase chakra from every human being on Earth. Quote, Naruto's eyes widened. Every shinobi will lose their chakra. Raisin smiled. Exactly. Sasuke raised his sword. You won't destroy the shinobi world. Raisin looked at him. I won't destroy it. Quote, he opened a massive portal. I'll end it. Raisin disappeared. The symbols remained in the sky. Shikamaru looked at Sasuke. How long do we have? Kage examined the seals. 3 days. Sasuke looked toward the horizon. Then we have 3 days to save the entire shinobi world. 3 days until the end. The news spread across the entire shinobi world. The chakra erasure seal had appeared above every major village. If activated, chakra would disappear from every human being. Sasuke called an emergency meeting. The leaders of the 5 great nations appeared through a communication barrier. Gaara spoke first. Can the seal be destroyed? Sasuke shook his head. Not from outside. Quote, the Raikage asked. Then how do we stop it? Kage answered. The seal is connected to an ancient dimension. Sakura looked at him. Can we enter that dimension? Kage nodded. Yes. Naruto asked. Where is it? Kage pointed toward the sky. Above the world. Shikamaru frowned. Another dimension. Sasuke nodded. The same place where Raisin is hiding. Gaara looked at Sasuke. Then we attack him there. Quote, Sasuke replied. That's the plan. Naruto smiled. Who is going? Sasuke looked around the room. Naruto. Naruto nodded. Sakura. Sakura stepped forward. Shikamaru. Shikamaru sighed. Of course. Quote, Sasuke continued. Gaara. Gaara nodded. And Kage. Everyone looked at Kage. Kage remained silent. Sasuke looked at him. You're the only one who can understand Raisin's technology. Kage nodded. I'll help. Suddenly, the communication barrier began shaking. A message appeared across it. 72 hours remaining. Raisin's voice echoed through the room. You have 3 days. The screen changed. Raisin appeared. 3 days to decide whether chakra deserves to exist. Naruto clenched his fist. You're not deciding that for everyone. Raisin smiled. Then stop me. The communication ended. Sasuke stood. We leave tonight. Later that evening, Sasuke stood alone on the Hokage monument. Naruto joined him. You worried? Sasuke looked toward the village. Yes. Naruto smiled. Good. Sasuke looked at him. Good. Naruto nodded. It means you care. Sasuke smiled slightly. You're still annoying. That's never going to change. Sasuke looked toward the sky. The future of every shinobi depends on us. Quote, Naruto stood beside him. Then let's protect it. Meanwhile, far above the world, Raisin stood inside an enormous floating fortress. Around him were thousands of ancient chakra crystals. A figure approached. Everything is ready. Raisin nodded. Excellent. The figure asked, what about Sasuke? Raisin smiled. Let him come. He looked toward a massive chamber. Inside it was a strange machine. At its center was a single glowing eye. Raisin placed his hand on it. The Hokage believes this is a battle to save chakra. His expression became cold, but he doesn't know the truth. The machine activated. A massive image of Sasuke appeared. Raisin looked at it. Sasuke Uchiha isn't the key to stopping the chakra erasure seal. He smiled. He's the key to activating it. Back in Konoha, Sasuke suddenly felt a strange pain in his Rinnegan. He looked toward the sky. Something was calling him, and he didn't know that Raisin had already planned his arrival. The journey beyond the sky. The next morning, Sasuke, Naruto, Sakura, Shikamaru, Gaara, and Kage gathered at the edge of Konoha. A massive portal stood before them. Sasuke looked at everyone. Once we enter, we may not be able to return until Raisin is defeated. Naruto smiled. Then let's make sure we don't lose. Sakura checked her equipment. Everyone is ready. Shikamaru sighed. This is going to be troublesome. Gaara looked toward the portal. We have less than 3 days. Kage stepped forward. I can open the dimensional path. He raised his hand. The portal expanded. A strange blue light filled the area. Sasuke stepped inside first. Naruto followed. The others entered behind them. The moment they crossed the portal, everything changed. They were floating above an endless ocean of clouds. Far ahead stood an enormous fortress. It was larger than any village they had ever seen. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. That's Raisin's fortress. Quote. Kage nodded. But something is wrong. Sakura asked. What? Kage looked around. There's no chakra. Naruto frowned. None. Kage shook his head. Not even natural energy. Shikamaru looked toward the fortress. Then how is it floating? Kage answered. That's what scares me. Suddenly, hundreds of machines appeared from the clouds. Their bodies were made from black metal. They had no chakra signatures. Naruto created shadow clones. Everyone, get ready. The machines attacked. Sasuke activated Susanoo. The first wave was destroyed instantly. Gaara created a massive sand wall. Sakura smashed several machines with a single punch. Kage analyzed one of the destroyed machines. These aren't living beings. Shikamaru asked. Then what are they? Kage answered. Artificial shinobi. Naruto looked shocked. Shinobi without chakra. Quote. Kage nodded. That's Raisin's army. More machines appeared. Thousands. Sasuke looked toward the fortress. We can't fight all of them. Naruto smiled. Then we don't. Sasuke understood. Straight to Raisin. Quote. Gaara created a massive sand platform. Everyone jumped onto it. They moved toward the fortress at incredible speed. The artificial shinobi followed. Suddenly, the fortress opened. A massive beam fired toward them. Sasuke switched places with a machine using Aminotegakara. The beam destroyed it. Naruto looked at Sasuke. Niece. Sasuke nodded. Keep moving. They reached the fortress entrance. The doors opened by themselves. Kage stopped. This is a trap. Sasuke walked forward. I know. Naruto asked. Then why are we going inside? Sasuke looked at him. Because Raisin wants us there. They entered. The doors closed behind them. Inside was a massive chamber filled with ancient machines. At the center stood Raisin. He was waiting. You came exactly when I expected. Sasuke raised his sword. End the chakra erasure seal. Raisin smiled. You still don't understand. He looked directly at Sasuke. The seal cannot be activated without you. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. What do you mean? Raisin raised his hand. The entire chamber changed. A giant image appeared behind him. It showed Sasuke's chakra network. Raisin spoke calmly. Your Rinnegan isn't just a weapon. He pointed toward the image. It is the final component of the ancient chakra system. Quote. Sasuke's expression changed. Raisin continued. Your eyes were never meant to destroy the system. They were created to control it. Sasuke stared at his Rinnegan. For the first time, he wondered if the power he had relied on for years had been part of Raisin's plan all along. The secret of Sasuke's Rinnegan. Sasuke stared at the giant image of his chakra network. Raisin stood before him. Your Rinnegan is connected to the ancient chakra system. Sasuke shook his head. You're lying. Quote. Raisin smiled. Then explain why the chakra erasure seal reacted the moment you entered this dimension. Sasuke looked at his Rinnegan. The eye was glowing strangely. Naruto stepped forward. Can you remove the connection? Quote. Raisin answered. No. Kage suddenly spoke. He can. Everyone looked at Kage. Kage walked toward Sasuke. Your chakra was used to create me. He placed his hand near Sasuke's Rinnegan. That means I carry the same connection. Quote. Sasuke understood. You can transfer it. Kage nodded. Yes. Naruto immediately objected. No. Kage looked at him. If I don't, Raisin will use Sasuke to activate the seal. Sakura asked. What happens if you transfer the connection? Kage remained silent. Sasuke looked at him. Tell us. Kage finally answered. I will lose my existence. Naruto clenched his fist. Absolutely not. Quote. Kage smiled. I was created as a weapon. He looked toward Sasuke. Now I can choose how I die. Sasuke stepped closer. You're not dying. Kage looked surprised. Sasuke continued. We'll find another way. Quote. Raisin laughed. There is no other way. Sasuke turned toward him. You keep saying that. He activated his Rinnegan. But you've made the same mistake as everyone before you. Raisin narrowed his eyes. What mistake? Sasuke answered. Assuming there is only one path. Naruto smiled. That's more like it. Sasuke and Naruto attacked simultaneously. Raisin blocked Naruto's Rasengan. Sasuke used Aminotegakara. Raisin predicted the movement, but Kage appeared behind him. He struck Raisin with a black chakra blade. Raisin was thrown across the chamber. Sasuke looked at Kage. Good timing. Kage smiled. I'm learning. Quote. Raisin stood. His expression had changed. You believe teamwork will defeat me? Sasuke raised his sword. No. Naruto gathered chakra. We know it will. Raisin released his full power. The fortress began shaking. Ancient machines activated around them. Thousands of artificial shinobi appeared. Gaara created a massive sand wall. Sakura prepared herself. Shikamaru began analyzing the battlefield. We need to reach the core. Quote. Kage pointed toward the center of the fortress. The chakra erasure seal is connected to that chamber. Sasuke nodded. Then that's where we're going. The team charged forward. Naruto and Gaara held back the artificial army. Sakura destroyed the machines attacking from the sides. Shikamaru coordinated their movements. Kage opened a path toward the core. Sasuke moved directly toward Raisin. Their eyes met. Raisin raised his hand. A black blade formed. Sasuke blocked it. The two clashed. Raisin whispered, "You cannot escape your destiny." Sasuke pushed him back. Destiny isn't something you escape. His Rinnegan glowed. It's something you change. Quote. Sasuke struck Raisin. For the first time, Raisin was wounded. He looked at the blood on his hand. Then he smiled. Finally, his chakra exploded. Show me the power of the Hokage. The entire fortress began transforming. The final battle had begun. The final battle begins. The entire fortress transformed around them. Walls moved. Ancient machines awakened. The artificial shinobi army surrounded Naruto, Sakura, Gaara, and Shikamaru. At the center, Sasuke faced Raisin. Raisin's chakra continued rising. You wanted to see my true power. He removed his cloak. Ancient markings covered his entire body. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. You won't stop us. Raisin smiled. You still think this is about stopping the seal? He pointed toward Sasuke. It's about deciding who controls the future. Raisin disappeared. Sasuke barely blocked his attack. The impact sent Sasuke across the chamber. Naruto rushed toward Raisin. Get away from him. Raisin turned. A black sphere formed in his hand. Naruto blocked it with a chakra cloak. The explosion threw both of them backward. Sakura caught Naruto. Are you okay? Naruto nodded. Yeah. Gaara looked toward Sasuke. He's getting stronger. Sasuke stood. Blood ran down his face. But his eyes remained focused. Naruto. Naruto looked at him. Yeah. We need to separate him from the fortress. Kage heard them. The fortress is supplying his chakra. Shikamaru immediately understood. Then destroy the connection. Kage pointed toward several massive pillars. Those pillars connect Raisin to the chakra erasure seal. Gaara created a massive sand wave. I'll destroy them. Sakura joined him. Then I'll help. Naruto created hundreds of shadow clones. Everyone move. The team split apart. Gaara's sand smashed into the first pillar. Sakura destroyed the second. Naruto's clones attacked the third. Kage moved toward the central control system. Raisin noticed. Stop him. The artificial shinobi rushed toward Kage. Sasuke intercepted them. His Susanoo appeared. You're not getting past me. Raisin attacked Sasuke. The two collided again. Sasuke used Aminotegakara. Raisin countered instantly. Their attacks became faster. Raisin finally grabbed Sasuke by the throat. You still don't understand your eyes. Sasuke struggled. Raisin's black eye began glowing. I can control your Rinnegan. Sasuke's eye suddenly began losing its color. Naruto saw it. Sasuke. Sasuke remained calm. Don't interfere. Raisin smiled. You're losing control. Sasuke closed his eyes. Then he smiled. Raisin's expression changed. What are you doing? Sasuke opened his eyes. His Rinnegan had changed. A new pattern appeared around it. Raisin stepped backward. Impossible. Sasuke answered. You told me my Rinnegan was created to control the ancient chakra system. He raised his sword. But you forgot. His Rinnegan glowed brighter. I became its master. A massive wave of chakra erupted from Sasuke. The entire fortress shook. Raisin was thrown backward. Kage looked toward Sasuke. His Rinnegan evolved. Naruto smiled. That's Sasuke. Sasuke looked toward the central core. The seal is weakening. Quote. Shikamaru shouted. Two pillars remain. Gaara and Sakura attacked them simultaneously. Both pillars shattered. The chakra erasure seal began collapsing. Raisin stared at the destruction. No. Sasuke walked toward him. It's over. Raisin slowly stood. His expression was no longer calm. You think destroying the seal means you've won. He opened a portal behind him. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. Where are you going? Raisin smiled. Somewhere your Rinnegan cannot follow. He stepped into the portal. Naruto rushed forward. Don't let him escape. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan, but the portal closed before he could reach it. Silence filled the fortress. Kage looked at the destroyed core. The seal is gone. Shikamaru checked the remaining energy. Chakra is returning to normal. Sakura smiled. We did it. Naruto looked toward Sasuke. Not completely. Sasuke nodded. Raisin escaped. Outside the fortress, Raisin appeared in another dimension. He looked at his injured hand. Then he smiled. Let them celebrate. Behind him, an enormous ancient door opened. Because the real war has not even begun. The ancient door. Raisin stood before the enormous ancient door. Its surface was covered with symbols older than any known shinobi language. He placed his hand against it. After thousands of years, the door is finally open. The door slowly moved. A massive wave of chakra escaped from inside. Raisin smiled. Now I can complete what the Sage of Six Paths started. Back inside the fortress, Sasuke and the others prepared to return to Earth. Kage examined the remaining machines. Raisin left behind something. Shikamaru looked at him. What? Kage pointed toward a small crystal. This contains his memories. Sasuke picked it up. The crystal activated. A vision appeared. Raisin was standing beside a young man. The young man looked exactly like him. Sasuke stared. Who is that? Kage answered. Raisin. Naruto frowned. But he looks different. The vision continued. Raisin was speaking to an ancient group of shinobi. We cannot allow chakra to remain uncontrolled. One of them asked. Then what do you propose? Raisin answered. Create a system that can regulate every person who possesses chakra. Quote. The vision changed. A young Sasuke appeared. Then Naruto. Then Kage. Sasuke's expression became serious. They were watching us. Kage nodded. For years. Another vision appeared. It showed the Moon Clan. Then the Void Core. Then the Purification Order. Everything was connected. Naruto stared at the crystal. All those enemies were part of the same plan. Kage answered. Yes. Sasuke understood. Raisin wasn't reacting to these events. He was creating them. Shikamaru's face became serious. Then the Moon King, the Void Core, and the Purification Order were all experiments. Kage nodded. And we were the final test. Sasuke looked toward the broken fortress. Then what is behind that door? Kage examined the crystal. I don't know. Suddenly, the crystal displayed one final image. A gigantic tree stood in an unknown dimension. Its roots stretched across the planet. Its branches reached into the sky. At its center was a glowing chakra core. Sasuke's eyes widened. The original chakra tree. Quote, Kage looked shocked. That tree was supposed to be destroyed thousands of years ago. Shikamaru asked, what happens if Raisin reaches it? Kage answered, he will gain control over every chakra network on Earth. Quote, Naruto clenched his fist. Then we can't let him reach it. Sasuke looked toward the portal. We're going after him. Sakura stepped forward. All of us. Sasuke nodded. This time, we're not fighting to protect one village. Quote, he looked at Naruto. We're protecting the entire shinobi world. Naruto smiled. Then let's finish this. The portal opened. But before they could enter, Sasuke suddenly stopped. His Rinnegan began glowing. He felt another presence. Kage noticed it. What happened? Sasuke looked toward the darkness. Someone else is here. A voice echoed through the fortress. Very impressive, Hokage. Everyone turned. A shadow appeared behind them. The figure stepped into the light. It was a young woman wearing an ancient white robe. She had silver hair and pale eyes. Kage immediately recognized her. No. Sasuke raised his sword. Who are you? The woman looked at him. My name is Ayami. She smiled. And I am the last guardian of the chakra tree. Her eyes moved toward Kage. Raisin has already reached the tree. The room became silent. Ayami continued. And if you want to stop him, you will need to know the truth about where chakra came from. The truth about chakra. Ayami stood before Sasuke and the others. Sasuke kept his sword raised. If you are the guardian of the chakra tree, then tell us everything. Ayami nodded. Chakra did not begin with the Otsutsuki. Naruto looked surprised. Then where did it come from? Ayami pointed toward the portal. The chakra tree was created by humans. Everyone became silent. Shikamaru frowned. Humans created the source of chakra. Ayami nodded. Thousands of years ago, humans discovered a natural energy flowing beneath the planet. Quote, they learned how to control it. Eventually, they created the first chakra tree to store and distribute that energy. Sasuke asked, then what happened? Ayami's expression became serious. People began fighting over it. Quote, kingdoms were destroyed. Entire civilizations disappeared. So the first chakra guardians created a system that could regulate the flow of chakra. Kage immediately understood. The root of shinobi chakra. Quote, Ayami nodded. Exactly. Naruto asked. Then who created Raisin? Ayami looked at Sasuke. Raisin was one of the first guardians. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. He betrayed them. Ayami shook her head. Not at first. She explained that Raisin once believed chakra could bring peace. He created systems to prevent wars. But every system eventually failed. People continued fighting. Raisin eventually decided that freedom itself was the problem. If people could choose how to use chakra, Ayami said, there would always be conflict. Sasuke understood. So he decided to control everyone. Ayami nodded. Yes. Naruto clenched his fist. That's not peace. Quote, Ayami looked at him. Raisin believes it is. Suddenly, the portal began shaking. A powerful chakra wave entered the fortress. Ayami looked toward it. He's awakened the chakra tree. Sasuke immediately moved toward the portal. Then we're out of time. Ayami stopped him. You cannot defeat Raisin with power alone. Sasuke looked back. Then what do we need? Ayami answered. Choice. Naruto frowned. Choice. Ayami looked at Sasuke. Raisin's greatest weakness is that he cannot understand why people choose pain, love, friendship, and sacrifice. She pointed toward Sasuke. Your entire life is proof that people can change. Sasuke remained silent. Ayami continued. That is why he fears you. Kage stepped forward. Then I'll fight beside him. Ayami looked at Kage. You were created from Sasuke's memories. Kage nodded. But you developed something Raisin never expected. Quote, Kage asked. What? Ayami smiled. Your own will. Kage looked at his hands. For the first time, he understood that he was no longer merely a weapon. Sasuke opened the portal. Let's go. Naruto stepped beside him. Together, they entered the portal. On the other side was a massive dimension filled with glowing roots. The chakra tree covered the entire horizon. At its center stood Raisin. His body was connected to the tree. His chakra had become enormous. Raisin opened his eyes. You finally arrived. Sasuke stepped forward. Release the tree. Raisin smiled. No. He raised his hand. Every root across the dimension moved toward them. Naruto entered Six Paths Sage mode. Gaara raised his sand. Sakura prepared her strength. Kage activated his Sharingan. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. Raisin looked at them. Show me. He spread his arms. Show me why humanity deserves the freedom to control chakra. The roots attacked. The final battle for the future of the shinobi world had begun. The battle of the chakra tree. The roots of the chakra tree rushed toward the team from every direction. Naruto created hundreds of shadow clones. Everyone, stay together. Gaara raised an enormous wall of sand. The roots smashed into it. Sakura punched the ground. A massive shockwave destroyed several roots at once. Kage activated his Sharingan. I can see the energy flowing through them. Sasuke looked at him. Where is the main connection? Kage pointed toward the center of the tree. Behind Raisin. Sasuke nodded. Then that's our target. Naruto created a massive Raisin Shuriken. Let's clear the path. He launched it. The attack tore through dozens of roots. Sasuke followed. Amano Tejikara. He switched positions with a broken branch and appeared directly in front of Raisin. Raisin blocked Sasuke's sword. You still believe you can change destiny? Sasuke pushed him back. Destiny has nothing to do with this. Raisin attacked. Their weapons collided. Sasuke used his Rinnegan to avoid every strike. Raisin suddenly released a wave of chakra. Sasuke was thrown backward. Naruto caught him. You okay? Sasuke nodded. He's using the chakra tree as an extension of his body. Kage approached them. Then we need to separate him from it. Raisin heard them. You cannot. He raised his hand. The entire tree began glowing. A massive chakra wave spread across the dimension. Every shinobi on Earth felt it. Naruto's expression changed. He's already connected to the world's chakra. Sasuke looked toward the sky. Then we have to disconnect him before he gains complete control. Ayami appeared beside them. There is one way. Sasuke looked at her. Tell us. Ayami pointed toward the center of the tree. The original chakra core. Kage asked. If we destroy it, won't the world's chakra disappear? Ayami shook her head. No. She looked at Sasuke. The core doesn't create chakra. It only controls its flow. Sasuke understood. So if we destroy the core, Raisin loses control. Ayami nodded. But someone must enter the core and sever the connection manually. Quote, Naruto immediately stepped forward. I'll do it. Sasuke shook his head. No. Naruto looked at him. Why? Because the core will attack anyone using overwhelming chakra. Naruto understood. Then you. Sasuke nodded. My Rinnegan can control the energy without destroying it. Raisin suddenly appeared before them. You won't reach the core. Sasuke raised his sword. Watch me. Raisin attacked. Naruto and Gaara blocked him. Sakura joined the battle. Kage opened a path toward the core. Go. Sasuke rushed forward. Raisin tried to follow. Naruto blocked him. You're not getting past me. Raisin looked at Naruto. You still believe friendship will save you? Naruto smiled. It already has. He attacked. Sasuke reached the core. A massive sphere of glowing chakra floated before him. He placed his hand against it. Instantly, thousands of memories entered his mind. Every war, every death, every betrayal, every person who had used chakra for destruction. Sasuke saw the entire history of the shinobi world. Then he saw something else. Naruto standing beside him, Sakura protecting her teammates, Gaara protecting his village, Kage choosing his own path. Sasuke opened his eyes. He finally understood. Chakra was never the true source of war. People's choices were. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. I choose to trust them. The core began responding to his chakra. Raisin suddenly screamed. No! The connection between him and the chakra tree began breaking. Sasuke pushed harder. The entire dimension shook. Raisin's power began collapsing. But just before the connection completely broke, Raisin smiled. You still don't understand. Sasuke looked at him. Raisin raised his hand. I never needed to control the chakra tree. A massive crack appeared in the core. I only needed you to awaken it. The awakening of the chakra tree. The crack in the chakra core spread rapidly. Sasuke's eyes widened. What did you do? Raisin smiled. I told you the truth. The entire chakra tree began glowing. Its roots spread across the dimension and then beyond it. Naruto looked around. Something is happening. Ayami's expression became terrified. The tree is waking up. Kage stared at the core. Raisin planned this. Sasuke understood. He never wanted to control the chakra tree. Quote, he wanted to awaken it. Raisin raised his hand. The chakra tree has been sleeping for thousands of years. The shinobi world has been using only a fraction of its power. The roots began absorbing energy from the planet. Naruto clenched his fist. Stop this. He attacked Raisin. Raisin blocked the strike. This is the true beginning of the new era. Sasuke stepped away from the core. Not if I can stop it. Raisin laughed. You cannot stop something older than your entire civilization. Sasuke looked at Naruto. We don't need to destroy it. Naruto understood. We need to control the flow. Kage stepped forward. I can help. Quote, Ayami shook her head. If you connect with the core, it could erase your identity. Kage looked at Sasuke. I was created without a past. He smiled. Now I have a future. Kage placed his hand on the core. Sasuke joined him. Naruto placed his hand beside them. 3 different chakra signatures entered the core. The tree reacted. Raisin's expression changed. No. Sasuke spoke calmly. You wanted one while controlling everyone. Quote, Naruto added. We'll give the world something different. Kage finished. Choice. Their combined chakra spread through the core. Instead of controlling the world's chakra, it began returning control to every individual. Across the shinobi world, people suddenly felt their chakra returning to them. The roots stopped attacking. The chakra tree began calming. Raisin's connection disappeared. He fell to the ground. Sasuke walked toward him. It's over. Raisin looked up. No. He slowly stood. You still haven't seen the final stage. His body began changing. Dark markings spread across his face. His chakra became almost impossible to sense. Ayami stepped backward. This shouldn't be possible. Sasuke looked at her. What is happening? Ayami whispered. Raisin is no longer connected to the chakra tree. Naruto frowned. Then where is he getting his power? Quote, Ayami looked toward the sky. From himself. Raisin's eyes turned completely black. I spent thousands of years preparing for this moment. He raised his hand. The dimension began collapsing. The chakra tree was only the beginning. Quote, Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. Raisin continued. The real source of chakra is awakening beneath the planet. Naruto looked shocked. There's another source. Raisin smiled. The primordial core. Quote, the ground beneath them cracked. A massive red light appeared beneath the chakra tree. Sasuke stared into the darkness. Something enormous was moving below them. Raisin looked toward Sasuke. Now, Hokage. Quote, he smiled. Let us see whether your new ninja era can survive the birth of a new world. The primordial core. The entire dimension shook violently. A massive red light rose from beneath the chakra tree. Sasuke stared into the darkness. What is that? Ayami's expression became pale. The primordial core. Naruto looked at her. What exactly is it? Ayami answered. It existed before the chakra tree. Quote, it is the original source of the energy that flows through this planet. Kage looked toward Raisin. You knew about it. Raisin smiled. For thousands of years. Sasuke raised his sword. Then you planned everything. Quote, Raisin nodded. The Moon King, the Void Core, the Purification Order, even Kage. He looked toward Sasuke. Every event pushed the shinobi world closer to this moment. Naruto clenched his fist. You used everyone. Raisin's expression remained calm. I gave humanity a choice. Sasuke shook his head. No, you took their choice away. Raisin's eyes darkened. Choice created war, Sasuke replied, and choice also created peace. The primordial core suddenly released a massive energy wave. The chakra tree began breaking apart. Ayami shouted, "The core is becoming unstable." Sakura looked towards Sasuke. "If it explodes, what happens?" Ayami answered, "The entire planet could be destroyed." Naruto looked at Raisin. "Then stop it." Raisin laughed. "I cannot." Sasuke's eyes narrowed. "You can't control it." Quote. Raisin nodded. "For the first time, there is something even I cannot control." Shikamaru looked at the core. "Then why awaken it?" Raisin answered, "Because someone else can." Everyone looked at Sasuke. Raisin smiled. "The Rinnegan." Sasuke's expression changed. "The core responds to my eyes." "Exactly." Raisin raised his hand. A massive force pulled Sasuke toward the primordial core. Naruto grabbed Sasuke. "I've got you." The force became stronger. Sasuke's feet began sliding across the ground. Kage joined Naruto. Together, they tried to hold him. Raisin spoke. "Your Rinnegan was never created by the chakra tree." Quote. "It was designed to communicate with the primordial core." Sasuke resisted. "I won't control it." Raisin smiled. "You don't have a choice." Sasuke's Rinnegan began glowing. The core reacted. Suddenly, Sasuke heard a voice inside his mind. "Choose." Sasuke froze. The voice continued. "Control the world, destroy the world, or trust the world." Sasuke understood. The primordial core wasn't asking him to control it. It was testing him. Sasuke closed his eyes. He thought about Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, his village, the Uchiha, everyone who had helped him become Hokage. Then he opened his eyes. "I choose trust." The primordial core suddenly became calm. Raisin's smile disappeared. "No." The red light began turning white. The energy pulling Sasuke stopped. Naruto smiled. Sasuke did it. But Raisin suddenly attacked. He appeared behind Sasuke with a black blade. Kage noticed him. "Look out." Kage pushed Sasuke away. The blade pierced Kage. Sasuke's eyes widened. "Kage." Kage fell to the ground. Raisin looked at him. "Your existence was never important." Kage slowly smiled. "You're wrong." He looked towards Sasuke. "I chose it." Kage's body began glowing. His chakra merged with the primordial core. Sasuke realized what was happening. "Kage, stop." Kage shook his head. "I finally found my purpose." The entire core began stabilizing. Raisin stared in disbelief. "No." Kage's chakra spread through the core. The primordial energy became completely stable. The dimension stopped collapsing. Kage looked at Sasuke one final time. "Protect the future." His body turned into pure light. Sasuke clenched his fist. Naruto stood beside him. Raisin stared at the core. For the first time, fear appeared in his eyes. The primordial core had chosen humanity. And Raisin had lost control. The final choice. Kage's body disappeared into the light. Sasuke stood completely still. Naruto placed a hand on his shoulder. "Sasuke." Sasuke looked at the glowing primordial core. Kage chose his own path. Raisin stared at the core in disbelief. "Impossible." Ayami looked toward the energy surrounding them. "The primordial core has accepted Kage's choice." Raisin clenched his fist. "No." He attacked the core with all his power. Sasuke immediately appeared in front of him. "You're finished." Raisin struck Sasuke. Sasuke blocked the attack. Naruto joined the battle. The two attacked Raisin together. Raisin released enormous waves of energy. But the primordial core no longer obeyed him. Every attack became weaker. Sasuke noticed. "He's losing his connection." Naruto nodded. "Then this is our chance." Raisin suddenly disappeared. He reappeared behind Sakura. Sasuke's eyes widened. "Raisin." Raisin raised his hand. Sakura prepared to defend herself. But Gaara's sand blocked the attack. "You're not touching her." Shikamaru trapped Raisin with shadow possession. Now, Sasuke appeared behind him. Naruto formed a massive Rasengan. Sasuke created a Chidori. Raisin broke free from the shadow. But it was too late. Naruto and Sasuke attacked simultaneously. Rasengan. Chidori. The combined attack struck Raisin directly. A massive explosion filled the dimension. Raisin was thrown toward the primordial core. He struggled to stand. Sasuke walked toward him. Why did you do all this? Raisin looked at him. Because I believed humanity could never change. Naruto answered. You were wrong. Raisin looked toward the glowing core. Perhaps. Sasuke lowered his sword. Your mistake wasn't wanting peace. Raisin looked at him. It was believing people had to lose their freedom to achieve it. Quote. Raisin remained silent. Then the primordial core released one final wave. Raisin's remaining power disappeared. He fell to his knees. The ancient dimension began disappearing. Ayami shouted. We have to leave. Quote. Sasuke looked toward the place where Kage had vanished. Naruto understood. He isn't coming back. Sasuke closed his eyes. I know. He turned toward the portal. We carry his choice with us. The team entered the portal. The moment they returned to Earth, the sky became clear. The chakra tree disappeared. The chakra erasure seal vanished. Across the shinobi world, chakra returned to normal. The war was over. Several days later, Konoha was rebuilding. Sasuke stood on the Hokage monument. Naruto approached him. You've been quiet. Sasuke looked toward the village. I'm thinking about the future. Quote. Naruto smiled. Still planning to change the world? Sasuke nodded. Yes. Naruto laughed. Then I'll help. Sasuke smiled. I was counting on that. Sakura joined them. The village is ready for the rebuilding ceremony. Quote. Sasuke looked across Konoha. The new ninja era had survived. Not because one person controlled the world, but because everyone had been allowed to choose their own path. Sasuke turned toward the village. Let's build a future where no one needs to become another Raisin. Naruto nodded. Together, the sun rose over Konoha, and the era of Sasuke Uchiha, the Hokage, truly began. The new ninja era. Several months had passed since the battle with Raisin. Konoha had been rebuilt. The other villages had also recovered. For the first time, the 5 great nations began working under one unified council. Sasuke stood inside the Hokage office. Shikamaru placed a stack of documents on his desk. The Alliance is officially accepting your new system. Sasuke looked at the documents. No more secret organizations. Shikamaru nodded. No more hidden experiments. Sakura added. And every village will have access to the same medical and educational resources. Quote. Naruto smiled. Looks like you're actually changing the shinobi world. Sasuke looked out the window. That's only the beginning. Suddenly, an Anbu shinobi entered. Hokage-sama. Sasuke turned. What happened? The Anbu placed a sealed scroll on the desk. This arrived from the land of waves. Sasuke opened it. A message appeared. Unknown chakra signatures detected beneath the ocean. Naruto's expression became serious. Another enemy. Sasuke shook his head. Not necessarily. He looked at the map. The primordial core changed the world's chakra. Shikamaru understood. You think something else awakened? Sasuke nodded. Possibly. Sakura looked concerned. After everything we've been through, can we really handle another threat? Sasuke smiled slightly. We don't have to face it alone. He looked at the new alliance map. Every major village was connected. Konoha, Suna, Kiri, Kumo, Iwa, all working together. Naruto smiled. That's the new ninja era. Sasuke nodded. Exactly. Later that evening, Sasuke visited the memorial stone. He placed a small black cloak beside it. It belonged to Kage. Sasuke stood silently. You wanted a future. He looked toward the village. You gave us one. Naruto stood behind him. He would have liked this. Quote. Sasuke nodded. I think so. A gentle wind passed through the memorial. For a moment, a tiny spark of light appeared above the cloak. Sasuke's eyes widened. Naruto noticed it too. What was that? Quote. The light disappeared. Sasuke stared at the empty space. I don't know. Far beneath the ocean, something opened its eyes. A strange chakra began spreading through the water. A voice echoed through the darkness. The primordial core has chosen humanity. Now we will see whether humanity deserves that choice. A massive shadow moved beneath the ocean. But this time, Sasuke was not alone. The new ninja era had united the shinobi world. And whatever came next would face them all together. The shadow beneath the ocean. The next morning, Konoha received an emergency transmission from the land of waves. Several fishing villages had lost contact. No survivors had been found. Sasuke immediately called Naruto, Sakura, Shikamaru, and Gaara. Shikamaru placed a map on the table. The disappearances are happening along the same underwater route. Sasuke studied the map. How far from the original chakra tree? Shikamaru pointed to the location. Almost directly beneath it. Sasuke's expression became serious. Then this isn't random. Naruto looked at him. You think something survived? Sasuke nodded. The primordial core changed the chakra network. Something beneath the ocean may have awakened because of that change. Gaara crossed his arms. Then we investigate before it becomes another threat. Quote, Sasuke stood. Exactly. Within hours, a joint team reached the land of waves. The ocean was completely silent. Not a single bird flew above the water. Sakura looked around. This place feels wrong. Quote, Kage was gone, but Sasuke still remembered the way he analyzed chakra. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. There is something beneath us. Naruto entered Sage mode. I can feel it too. Suddenly, the ocean began moving. A massive whirlpool formed in front of them. Shikamaru shouted, everyone back. The water exploded upward. A gigantic black structure emerged from the ocean floor. It looked like an ancient temple. Strange symbols covered its walls. Sasuke stared at the entrance. Those symbols are connected to the primordial core. Gaara created a sand platform. We should enter. Sasuke nodded. The team entered the temple. Inside, hundreds of stone statues lined the walls. Each statue had a different eye. Sakura examined one. These aren't humans. Sasuke activated his Sharingan. The Guardians. Naruto looked ahead. Guardians of what? A deep voice echoed through the temple. Of the first choice. Everyone froze. The stone statues suddenly opened their eyes. Their chakra filled the chamber. Shikamaru stepped backward. How many are there? Sasuke counted them. Too many. The statues moved. Naruto created shadow clones. Gaara raised his sand. Sakura prepared to attack, but Sasuke raised his hand. Wait. The statues stopped. One of them stepped forward. Its voice echoed through the chamber. The primordial core chose humanity. Sasuke stared at it. What do you want? The Guardian answered. We want to know whether humanity has learned from its past. Quote, Naruto stepped forward. We have. The Guardian looked at him. Then prove it. The floor suddenly disappeared. Everyone fell into darkness. Sasuke opened his Rinnegan. They landed in a strange dimension. Konoha was visible in the distance. So was Suna, Kiri, Kumo, and Iwa. But every village was fighting the others. Sakura looked shocked. This is an illusion. The Guardian appeared above them. No. Quote, Sasuke looked around. It's a possible future. The vision showed villages destroying each other. The new alliance had collapsed. Wars had returned. Naruto looked at Sasuke. We can't let this happen. Quote, Sasuke nodded. The Guardian spoke again. Your new ninja era will be tested. Sasuke raised his sword. Then we'll prove it. The vision suddenly changed. A dark figure appeared above the battlefield. Sasuke's eyes widened. He recognized the silhouette. It was Kage, but his eyes were completely black. Naruto stared in disbelief. Kage. The figure slowly turned toward them. A voice echoed across the dimension. You believed I was gone. Sasuke tightened his grip on his sword. Kage. The figure smiled. I returned for one reason. The entire dimension began shaking. To test whether the world you built is truly worth protecting. Quote, Kage's return. The entire dimension shook. Sasuke stared at the figure standing above the battlefield. Kage. Naruto stepped forward. Is that really you? The figure slowly descended. His appearance was almost identical to before, but his eyes were completely black. Kage looked at Sasuke. You thought I sacrificed myself. Sasuke's expression remained serious. You did. Kage smiled. I entered the primordial core. The core didn't destroy me. It changed me. Quote, Sakura looked at him carefully. Then why are you attacking us? Kage looked toward the villages fighting below. I'm not attacking you. He pointed toward the battlefield. I'm showing you what will happen if your new ninja era fails. Quote, Shikamaru immediately understood. This entire dimension is a test. Kage nodded. The Guardians created this world to observe your choices. Gaara looked around. But these battles look real. Kage answered. They are possible futures. Naruto clenched his fist. Then we'll change the future. Kage looked at him. That's what Sasuke said before. Sasuke stepped forward. And I still believe it. Quote, Kage raised his hand. Suddenly, 5 portals opened. Each portal showed one of the great villages. Konoha was preparing to attack Suna. Kumo was preparing to attack Kiri. Iwa was preparing to attack Konoha. Sakura looked shocked. Why are they fighting? Kage answered. Because the alliance is built on trust. He looked at Sasuke. And trust is fragile. Sasuke studied the visions. What caused the conflict? Quote, Kage pointed toward Konoha. A secret. Naruto frowned. What secret? Kage smiled. Your village discovered a new source of chakra. Sasuke's expression changed. The underwater temple. Kage nodded. The new chakra source can increase the strength of an entire village. Shikamaru understood. And every village wants it. Kage looked at Sasuke. Exactly. Sasuke turned toward the other leaders. No one touches that source. A voice suddenly echoed through the dimension. Then what will you do when another village takes it? Sasuke answered immediately. We negotiate. The vision changed. Konoha's forces were attacked. Naruto looked at Sasuke. What if they attack first? Sasuke replied. We defend ourselves. Gaara nodded. But we don't retaliate against civilians. Sakura added. And we protect prisoners. Shikamaru smiled. That's the system we built. Kage watched them carefully. Then the battlefield began changing. The attacking villages lowered their weapons. The conflict disappeared. The 5 nations began negotiating. Kage's black eyes slowly returned to normal. Sasuke looked at him. Was that the test? Kage shook his head. No. The entire dimension went silent. Kage looked toward the sky. The first test was whether you would choose peace. He raised his hand. The second is whether you can protect peace. Suddenly, the sky cracked open. A massive creature emerged from the darkness. It had no face. Its body was made entirely of chakra. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. Naruto entered 6 Paths Sage mode. Kage looked at them. That is the guardian of the primordial core. Sasuke raised his sword. Then we'll face it together. Kage smiled. Now you're beginning to understand. The creature opened its enormous mouth. A massive wave of chakra exploded toward them. Sasuke, Naruto, Gaara, Sakura, Shikamaru, and Kage stood together. For the first time, Kage was fighting beside the people he had once been created to destroy. And the Guardian was about to discover what the new ninja era truly meant. The Guardian of the Primordial Core. The massive Guardian released a wave of chakra. Sasuke raised Susanoo. Naruto surrounded himself with 6 Paths chakra. Gaara created a gigantic sand barrier. Sakura struck the ground, strengthening the barrier with her chakra. The attack hit. The entire dimension shook. Kage stood beside Sasuke. This creature isn't trying to kill us. Sasuke looked at him. Then what is it doing? Testing our cooperation. The Guardian attacked again. This time, its body divided into 5 enormous forms. Each one moved toward a different member of the team. Gaara faced the first. Sakura faced the second. Naruto faced the third. Kage faced the fourth. Sasuke faced the fifth. Sasuke's opponent attacked with a massive blade of chakra. Sasuke blocked it. The Guardian copied his Rinnegan. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. It can copy abilities. Kage shouted. Don't fight it with the same technique. Sasuke understood. He put away his sword. The Guardian attacked again. Sasuke dodged. Instead of attacking, he waited. The Guardian became confused. Sasuke smiled. You're copying my abilities. He activated a simple fire-style technique. The Guardian copied it. Sasuke immediately stopped. The Guardian stopped too. Sasuke realized something. You can only react to what I choose to do. Quote. He suddenly used taijutsu. The Guardian copied him. Sasuke changed his movements. The Guardian followed. But Sasuke wasn't trying to defeat it. He was testing its limits. Meanwhile, Naruto realized the same thing. You're not a warrior. The Guardian stopped. Naruto lowered his hand. You're an observer. The creature remained still. Gaara also stopped attacking. Sakura lowered her fist. Kage deactivated his Sharingan. One by one, everyone stopped fighting. The 5 Guardians slowly returned to their original form. The giant creature above them disappeared. The dimension became peaceful. A voice echoed through the sky. Test complete. Sasuke looked upward. The Guardian appeared before them. You have demonstrated cooperation without surrendering individuality. Naruto smiled. So we passed. The Guardian nodded. Yes. Sasuke asked. What happens now? The Guardian looked at Kage. The one created as a weapon has chosen his own identity. Kage remained silent. The Guardian then looked at Sasuke. The one who became Hokage has chosen trust over control. Quote. Finally, it looked at Naruto. And the one who changed the fate of the Uchiha continues to protect that choice. The dimension began disappearing. Sakura looked around. Are we going back? The Guardian nodded. Your world has been accepted. Sasuke looked at Kage. Come with us. Kage looked surprised. You want me in Konoha? Sasuke nodded. You have earned your place. Naruto smiled. And besides, you still owe me a rematch. Quote. Kage laughed for the first time. Maybe someday. The team returned to the underwater temple. The stone guardians closed their eyes. The ancient temple became silent. Outside, the ocean was calm again. Sasuke looked toward the horizon. The new ninja era had passed its greatest test. But deep beneath the ocean, the primordial core remained awake. And somewhere inside it, a new light began forming. A light that was neither human nor chakra. A new mystery had begun. The light within the core. Several days passed after the Guardian's test. Konoha returned to normal. Kage was officially accepted as a shinobi of the village. He spent most of his time training with Sasuke and Naruto. One evening, Sasuke was reviewing reports in the Hokage office when Kage suddenly entered. Hokage. Sasuke looked up. What happened? Kage placed his hand over his chest. I can feel something. Naruto entered behind him. Feel what? Kage closed his eyes. A strange energy. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. Where? Kage pointed toward the ocean. Inside the primordial core. Quote. Sasuke stood immediately. Is it dangerous? Kage shook his head. I don't know. Suddenly, every chakra sensor in Konoha activated. Shikamaru rushed into the room. Everyone felt that. Sakura followed. The entire planet just experienced a chakra fluctuation. Sasuke looked toward the window. The sky had changed. A thin white beam of light was rising from the ocean. Naruto stared at it. That's not normal chakra. Quote. Kage looked shocked. I know that energy. Sasuke turned toward him. Where have you seen it? Kage answered. Inside the primordial core. Shikamaru frowned. Then something has escaped. Sasuke immediately summoned the other village leaders. Within minutes, Naruto, Sakura, Gaara, and Kage gathered at the coast. The ocean began glowing. A small sphere of white light rose from the water. It floated above the waves. Sasuke approached carefully. The sphere suddenly moved toward him. His Rinnegan reacted. The light entered his eye. Sasuke fell to one knee. Naruto rushed toward him. Sasuke. Sasuke slowly stood. His Rinnegan had changed. A thin white ring surrounded the eye. Kage stared at it. The core chose you. Sasuke looked confused. Why? A voice echoed through the air. Because you understand both sides. Everyone turned. No one was there. The voice continued. Power and restraint. Freedom and responsibility. Strength and compassion. Sasuke looked toward the ocean. Who are you? The voice answered. I am the first consciousness created by the primordial core. Quote. Naruto stepped forward. Are you an enemy? The voice remained silent for a moment. Then it answered. That depends on humanity. Shikamaru sighed. That's not a very reassuring answer. The ocean suddenly split open. A massive doorway appeared beneath the waves. Sasuke looked at it. What is that? The voice answered. The final chamber. Kage's expression changed. The place even Raisin never entered. Sasuke stared into the doorway. What is inside? The voice answered. The truth about why chakra exists. Naruto looked at Sasuke. Ready? Sasuke nodded. Let's find out. The team entered the underwater doorway. Behind them, the ocean closed. Deep inside the chamber, an enormous ancient symbol began glowing. And for the first time in history, the true origin of chakra was about to be revealed. The origin of chakra. The team walked deeper into the ancient chamber. The walls were covered with symbols that seemed to move whenever Sasuke looked at them. Kage stopped. This place is older than the chakra tree. Shikamaru examined the markings. Then what created it? Quote, a voice echoed through the chamber. Before chakra, there was only energy. A massive sphere of light appeared before them. Naruto looked at it. Is that the primordial core? The voice answered, no, this is what existed before the core. Sasuke stared at the sphere. What is it? The sphere showed images of the ancient world. Humans, animals, mountains, oceans. Then it showed people discovering natural energy. The voice continued, every living being possesses energy. Chakra was created when humans learned to combine physical energy with spiritual energy. Sakura understood. So chakra wasn't given to humanity. Quote, it was created by humanity. The voice answered, correct. Sasuke looked toward Kage. Then the chakra tree wasn't the beginning. Kage nodded. It was only the first system built to control something that already existed. Quote, the chamber suddenly changed. A vision appeared. It showed the first civilization discovering chakra. At first, they used it to heal. Then they used it to build. Then they used it to communicate. But eventually, people began using it as a weapon. War spread across the world. Naruto watched silently. The voice continued. Humanity did not become violent because of chakra. Humanity used chakra because violence already existed. Quote, Sasuke understood. Raisin blamed chakra for human nature. Yes, the vision changed. It showed Raisin as a young guardian. He watched countless wars. He tried to stop them. But every attempt failed. The voice continued. Raisin eventually decided that removing freedom was the only path to peace. Naruto clenched his fist. He was wrong. The voice answered, yes. Sasuke looked toward the sphere. Then why reveal this to us? The chamber became silent. The sphere moved toward Sasuke. Because the primordial core has chosen a new guardian. Sasuke's eyes widened. Me. The voice answered. Not a ruler. Not a controller. A guardian. Sasuke looked at Naruto. Naruto smiled. Sounds like you. Sasuke sighed. I already have enough paperwork. Shikamaru laughed. At least now you're responsible for the entire planet. Quote, Sakura smiled. But suddenly, the chamber shook. The sphere began flashing red. Kage looked toward the ceiling. Something is wrong. The voice became urgent. An external force has entered the primordial core. Quote, Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. Who? The answer came immediately. Raisin. Everyone froze. Naruto clenched his fist. He's alive. The voice continued. And he has found a way to merge with the original energy. Quote, the chamber began collapsing. Sasuke raised his sword. Then we finish this. Naruto stood beside him. Together, Kage activated his Sharingan. This time, the final battle would not be about controlling chakra. It would be about deciding who had the right to shape the future of humanity. Raisin's final evolution. The chamber shook violently. The ancient sphere of energy began turning red. Sasuke looked toward it. Raisin is inside the core. Naruto clenched his fist. Then let's pull him out. Kage shook his head. We can't. Sasuke looked at him. Why? Because Raisin isn't controlling the core anymore. Quote, Kage looked toward the red energy. He has become part of it. Suddenly, the entire chamber went dark. A voice echoed through the darkness. You finally understand. Raisin appeared above the primordial core. But he was no longer human. His body was made of pure energy. His eyes had become completely white. Sakura stared at him. He's changed. Kage answered. He's merged with the original energy. Raisin looked at Sasuke. Your Rinnegan allowed you to understand chakra. He raised his hand. I have become the energy itself. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. You still haven't learned anything. Raisin smiled. I learned that humanity can never be trusted. Quote, Naruto stepped forward. You've been proven wrong again and again. Raisin released a massive wave of energy. Naruto blocked it with a chakra cloak. Sasuke used Aminotegakara to move behind Raisin. He attacked, but his sword passed through Raisin's body. Sasuke landed. Physical attacks don't work. Kage studied Raisin. His body isn't solid. Sakura asked, then how do we defeat him? Sasuke looked at the primordial core. We don't attack his body. Naruto understood. We attack his connection. Raisin heard them. You cannot sever my connection. Sasuke smiled. We don't need to. He looked at Naruto. We need to change it. Quote. Naruto nodded. Sasuke raised his hand. His Rinnegan connected to the core. Naruto connected his chakra beside him. Kage joined them. Sakura and Gaara added their chakra. Then the chakra of the entire Shinobi Alliance began flowing into the core. Raisin's expression changed. What are you doing? Sasuke answered. Giving the core something you never could. Raisin shouted. Stop. The core began absorbing the combined chakra. But instead of increasing Raisin's power, it began separating his energy from the original source. Kage shouted. Keep going. Naruto pushed harder. Sakura joined him. Gaara added his chakra. Across the world, Shinobi began contributing their energy. Even villages that had once been enemies joined together. Raisin screamed. No. His body began breaking apart. Sasuke looked at him. You wanted a world without choice. Raisin struggled. And you created a world where everyone chooses. Sasuke nodded. Exactly. Raisin's energy was finally separated from the primordial core. His human body returned. He fell toward the ground. Naruto caught him. Raisin looked weak. Why? Naruto answered. Because you still deserve a chance to choose. Quote. Raisin looked at Sasuke. You really believe humanity can change? Sasuke nodded. I've seen it happen. Raisin closed his eyes. For the first time, he had no answer. The primordial core returned to its original state. The chamber became peaceful. The ancient voice echoed one final time. Humanity has chosen. Sasuke looked toward the core. And what happens now? The voice answered. Chakra will remain free. No ruler will control it. No guardian will own it. It will belong to everyone. The light faded. Raisin was taken into custody. The ancient chamber began closing. Naruto smiled. Looks like it's finally over. Quote. Sasuke looked toward the fading light. Yes. Kage smiled. The new ninja era survived. Sasuke looked at his friends. No. He smiled. It evolved. The Hokage's new promise. Months passed after Raisin's defeat. The ancient chamber beneath the ocean was sealed permanently. The primordial core remained stable. The chakra tree was gone, but the world's chakra continued flowing naturally. Raisin was imprisoned in a secure facility monitored by every major village. Kage had become one of Konoha's strongest protectors. But Sasuke's responsibilities had changed. He was no longer simply the Hokage of Konoha. The 5 great nations had created a new position. Guardian of the Shinobi Alliance. Sasuke stood before the leaders of every major village. Gaara stepped forward. From today, every village agrees to protect the freedom of chakra. The Raikage nodded. No secret experiments. The Mizukage continued. No hidden weapons capable of controlling entire populations. The Tsuchikage added. And no village will ever again pursue power at the cost of another. Sasuke looked across the gathering. This is not the end of conflict. Quote. Everyone became silent. Sasuke continued. People will still disagree. There will still be mistakes. There will still be enemies. But we will face those problems together. Naruto smiled. That's the promise. The crowd applauded. Later that evening, Sasuke returned to Konoha. He walked through the village. Children were training in the academy. Shopkeepers were opening their businesses. Shinobi from different villages were working together. Kage was teaching young students how to control their chakra. One student raised his hand. Are you really the person who was created to destroy the Hokage? Quote. Kage paused. Everyone became quiet. Kage smiled. I was created to be a weapon. The student asked. Then what are you now? Kage looked toward Sasuke. Sasuke smiled. Kage answered. Whatever I choose to become. Quote. The children smiled. Sasuke continued walking. Naruto caught up with him. You've changed a lot. Sasuke looked at him. So have you. Naruto laughed. Not really. Sasuke smiled. You still talk too much. Quote, they reached the Hokage monument. Sasuke looked at the village below. Naruto stood beside him. Do you think we finally achieved peace? Sasuke thought for a moment. No. Naruto looked surprised. Sasuke continued. Peace isn't something you achieve once. It's something you protect every day. Naruto smiled. That's a very Hokage answer. Sasuke looked toward the rising sun. The old shinobi era was built on fear. Quote, the new era will be built on trust. A gentle wind passed through the village. For the first time, Sasuke realized something. He had spent his entire life searching for the right path. Now, as Hokage, he finally understood. There was no single perfect path. There was only the choice to keep moving forward. And that choice belonged to everyone. The story of Sasuke Uchiha, the Hokage who changed the shinobi world, had reached its greatest moment. But the new ninja era was only beginning. The first generation of the new era. 5 years passed. The world had changed completely. The 5 great nations were no longer separated by distrust. Shinobi from different villages trained together. Academies exchanged students. Medical knowledge was shared freely. And missions were now assigned through the unified Shinobi Council. Sasuke sat inside the Hokage office, looking through reports. Shikamaru entered with a smile. Another peaceful month. Sasuke looked up. That's good. Shikamaru placed a document on the desk. There's something else. Sasuke opened it. The report was about the new generation of shinobi. Children from Konoha, Suna, Kiri, Kumo, and Iwa had formed a single team. Sasuke smiled. The first generation trained under the new system. Naruto entered the room. Already growing up. Sasuke nodded. They don't know the world we grew up in. Naruto smiled. That's exactly what we wanted. Meanwhile, at the academy training grounds, several young shinobi stood together. A Konoha student, a sand shinobi, a mist shinobi, a cloud shinobi, and a stone shinobi. Their instructor was Kage. Today, you aren't representing your villages. The students looked confused. Kage continued, you're representing the future. Quote, the Konoha student raised his hand. What if we fail? Kage smiled. Then learn from it. The sand student asked, what if we disagree? Then talk. The cloud student asked, what if someone betrays us? Quote, Kage paused. Then decide whether they deserve another chance. The students looked at each other. Kage smiled. Those are the lessons that created the new era. Suddenly, Sasuke appeared at the training ground. All the students stood straight. Hokage-sama. Sasuke looked at Kage. How are they doing? Kage nodded. They're ready. Sasuke looked at the young shinobi. You are the first generation that will never know the old shinobi world. Quote, one student asked, was it really that bad? Sasuke smiled. Yes. The students laughed. Naruto appeared behind Sasuke. And trust me, you don't want to experience it. Everyone laughed. Sasuke looked toward the horizon. For generations, shinobi had inherited hatred. Now, they were inheriting cooperation. That was the true victory. Not defeating an enemy, not gaining more power, but creating a world where children didn't have to repeat the mistakes of their parents. Sasuke turned toward the students. Your first mission begins tomorrow. The students became excited. Kage smiled. Naruto looked at Sasuke. Ready for the next generation? Sasuke nodded. Always. Quote, the sun began setting over Konoha. The Hokage monument stood above the village. And among the faces carved into stone, Sasuke Uchiha's face represented more than a title. It represented change. The new ninja era had become reality. The mission that changed everything. The next morning, the 5 young shinobi gathered at Konoha's main gate. Their first mission was simple. Escort a medical team to a village near the Land of Fire. Kage stood before them. Remember, this is not a combat mission. The Konoha student nodded. We understand. Kage looked at each of them. Your goal is to protect the people and complete the mission together. Quote, the team left the village. For several hours, everything went smoothly. Then they reached a forest. The sand shinobi suddenly stopped. Wait, everyone froze. What happened? He pointed toward the ground. There are footprints. The Cloud Shinobi activated his sensory ability. At least 20 people. The Mist Shinobi looked toward the trees. They're surrounding us. The team prepared themselves. Kage watched from a distance. He had been secretly following them to observe their first mission. Suddenly, Masked Shinobi appeared. The young team moved into formation. Protect the medical team. The attackers rushed forward. The students fought together. The Cloud Shinobi used lightning style. The Sand Shinobi created a defensive wall. The Mist Shinobi created a mist screen. The Stone Shinobi raised an earth barrier. The Konoha student coordinated everyone. Within minutes, the attackers were defeated. But their leader remained standing. He removed his mask. The students froze. The man was a former shinobi of the old era. He looked at them. You children don't understand this world. The Konoha student stepped forward. Then explain it. The man laughed. You believe villagers can live together peacefully. He pointed toward the others. One day, they'll betray you. The Sand Shinobi shook his head. Maybe. The man looked surprised. But we'll deal with it when it happens. The Mist Shinobi added. We won't create enemies before they exist. Quote, the former shinobi became silent. Kage watched from the trees. He smiled. The students had understood the lesson. The man suddenly pulled out a forbidden weapon. Kage immediately appeared. Enough. Quote, the former shinobi attacked. Kage caught his wrist. The weapon fell to the ground. Kage looked at him. You belong to the past. The man stared at him. And you? Kage smiled. I was created by the past. Quote, he released the man's wrist. But I chose the future. The mission continued. By sunset, the team reached the village safely. The villagers welcomed them. The students looked proud. Kage stood outside the village. Sasuke's voice came through a communication device. How did they perform? Kage smiled. They passed. Sasuke asked. Any problems? Kage looked at the young shinobi laughing together. Yes. He paused. They're still learning. Sasuke smiled. That's the point. Kage looked toward the horizon. The new generation had completed its first mission. But far away, an unknown observer watched them through a strange device. A voice whispered, so this is the generation Sasuke created. The screen displayed the 5 young shinobi. The figure smiled. Interesting. He turned away. Let's see how strong their new era really is. Thanks for watching. Fire. If you enjoyed, what if Sasuke became Hokage? A new ninja era, then subscribe to Animeversalor for more epic Naruto what if stories. Speech balloon comment, next part, if you want to see what happens next. Animeversalor, where every anime story has a new destiny.